Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys are all doing really well on whatever day is today. Wednesday. That's the one. Wednesday, and I hope you guys have stayed safe today and enjoying yourself and all that sort of gear. Going to be another big show, if that's what you want to call it. Another exciting show. Scotty Patel is on this one. If you don't know Scotty, well, what are you doing? Are you even a shooter? But we will check in with him in a moment. All sorts of stuff going on. A little bit of a heads up. So tonight after the show, make sure you go grab Zoom. You can download it on iPads, on tablets, on phones, on your laptop, on your computer, whatever way it is you need to get. Grab Zoom. At the end of the show, I'm going to put up a code on screen, and that is a meeting room code, and you should be able to put that into Zoom and jump in and basically make sure your camera's on, your audio's on, and we're going to just chat for about 40 minutes. I think we can do that before we start hitting limits. So that is the plan tonight, just to hang out. So if you've got something to show off tonight, that is a really good time. If you've got a fancy new piece of kit or anything along those lines, we want to see it. That'll be really good. So you don't have to wear pants, just don't stand up. All right, a few ground rules to put into place for that. What else is going on? Tomorrow night we've got Andy Little on the show, as along with Ben Jarrett, and those guys will be doing a reloading off, or however we call that. They will both be reloading at the same time, and we will be comparing their processes and hopefully getting them into an argument about what they're doing. That's the goal. So jump in the chat and make sure you argue with them and tell them they're doing things wrong. Although if you are new to reloading, it may actually be a really good way to see it play out. So that will be exciting. Friday night, Emma Stevens is coming on the show. Brace yourselves. Have the rum ready. Things should get wild. Anyway, and that's and then we'll get into the weekend. So looking forward to it. It will be a good few days as per normal. Got to give some plugs to Projectile Warehouse. The code for 5% off of Projectile Warehouse is ID Live 5. ID LIVE number 5. That's jump on there, all sorts of stuff, and keep an eye on that website tomorrow. If I happen not to fall asleep in the next 10 or 15 minutes, or maybe 2 hours, there may be a new website up there tomorrow. We'll see how we go. It was a very late morning this morning, trying to get some things ready, but we are getting there. That's the joy of doing these things when everything is busy. Right. Well, I think we're about. We've got a few comments coming through, all sorts of stuff. So, guys, keep that up. If you've got comments for Scotty, or more so questions, I'm sure he has some answers for you. So hit them up. We will pass through and look over those as we go along. Again, Travi last night couldn't beat Nick on the likes for videos, so I'm sure Scott has this nailed. He'll be able to get you guys hitting like and. We'll top Nick off of his top spot. I'm sure Scott will be happy with that. All right, let's do it. Let's bring him on. Scotty Patel, how are you going, mate? Let's try that again with some audio. Are we there?
Yep, gotcha. How is everyone?
We got you. Fantastic, mate. How are you surviving up there in gorgeous Queensland?
Well, too scared to go outside at the moment.
Yeah, right.
Seeing people get arrested today at the park for walking their dogs and that, so everyone's a bit on edge at the moment.
Wow, okay. Well, so that gets you to sort of hang out inside. What are you up to with your time?
Chatting to you. Trying to do videos. Can't even do that really though.
Yeah,
can't get out to do any training or anything like that. We're sort of all in complete lockdown at the moment. Okay. They're saying you can do things, but I think people are too scared to test the waters at this stage.
Okay, yeah, as we all find our feet with the challenging environment. So you doing any editing or anything on those lines? Have you got some footage banked?
Hopefully, I'm just going through it all at the moment, trying to track down all the stuff to whack some stuff together from previous hunts and some training sessions and that. But in the way of new content, it's going to be hard at the moment just because of all the lockdowns and all that sort of stuff. We should get some more clarification on we can and can't do over the next week or so.
Okay, cool. Well,
which is crappy timing actually, because the rut's supposed to start in like a week and a half, 2 weeks here. So
far out, absolutely. So what would you have been doing otherwise? Would you be out after deer shortly?
Yeah, I'd probably be selling something and trying to buy something again at the last minute.
Yeah, fair enough. And what sort of deer are you going for up there?
Red deer at the moment.
Red deer.
There are some rooster around and that, but they sort of just come through willy-nilly at the property we go to, but it's predominantly all red deer there, yeah.
Yeah, okay. No dramas at all. And so that brings us on to your latest video. So you've got
Yes.
tell us a little bit about your channel, because I know you've had some sort of reboots with it, but it looks like you've got a pretty clear direction now.
Yeah, so we've had a little bit of a shuffle up, obviously, with MDT and that on board. We've sort of scoped a lot of our footage and all that sort of stuff towards something that's more relatable for a much wider audience, sort of thing, so to speak. And obviously, last year was a bit of a trying time with back issues and all that sort of stuff, as you would have seen. So this year we've tried to sort of establish firm ground with this new channel between hunts. It's going to be a crossover between hunting and, you know, some training vids and more of a social aspect on the hunting side to try shed some, you know, some good things about it instead of all the negative stuff that gets spread around these days.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And has the so your latest video was a red deer hunt that you did a little while ago.
Yeah, it was. So we had a couple of us got together. I didn't really go there to do a hunt, as say. I've got a mate down south who manages Black Fox Productions. So I've been hanging around him and getting my nose in with some of the filming and editing and all that sort of stuff. So that sort of tweaked my interest. So I was sort of just cruising along, trying to get some footage and all that sort of stuff. So
okay, very good, mate. That's exciting to do. And tell us a little bit more about the hunt. Was it good? Was it successful?
Yeah, it was. So the guy's property that we went on to, his best friend, we met actually the year before, and through another hunt actually, and we all sort of joined up that night. We had a guy come up from Victoria who's typically a sambar hunter. So we all joined up. It was going to be my first proper raw because they're going nuts out there. Like, I've never been in the presence of so much action. Like, you always hear about it and see it on YouTube and all that too, but to be actually there experiencing it was something totally different. So basically it was supposed to be a 3-day hunt, but we put a lot of kilometers on the boots the first day. We had done something like 22 kilometers on the first day up and down these hills.
Yeah, right.
So it was, we were knackered. But Bill, he's a good mate. It's actually his property, so we headed there, and he got 2 the first day.
Okay.
Got some pretty cool footage. It started raining. Typical. And then we got halfway home, and long story short, usually what happens is we'll go on the hunt. Halfway back, we'll all RV at a dam, and then because we're still so far from the property, they'll come and pick us up. But the hunter before us decided to take the keys and use it for himself, basically. So we had complete access to the property whenever he wanted, which left us out in the lurch. So we had to sort of hump the last 3-4K up and over this other hill. So
yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be a 3-day hunt. He was. He got a few pretty rancid phone calls the following day.
I bet. I bet.
But no, it was, overall it was good. There was heaps of action. Everyone had a blast. Got some awesome footage. I'm still trying to learn the ins and outs of the new software that I've got going on there. So
yeah, okay.
Just trying a few things. So the next one will probably be totally different again. I'm just trying to find out, you know, where I sit in the way of the technology.
Yeah. What software are you using to edit? I mean, I'm asking personal questions.
Yeah.
No one else is interested, but I want to know.
I got Blue Jocks on too.
That was actually a question in the chat from Nick. Yeah, Nick is asking that one.
Oh, really? I'm not gonna stand up. Put it that way. No, I'm using DaVinci Resolve 16 at the moment. So I was using Filmora, but I was so restricted with licenses and all that sort of stuff. And DaVinci Resolve seems to have a lot of the licensing and all that all incorporated. And you've got all your color grading and heaps of cool stuff inside that you can do. So I'm sort of trying to weed my way through that.
Nice.
I'm not real up to date with all that sort of stuff. So having the dudes down south to help me out that are actually in film, awesome.
Yeah, that's magic. Nice, mate. Very good. Cool. And so let's jump in the chat here. Let's see a couple of things that are going on. Who have we got? We've got all sorts. I don't know if you can see any of this, Scotty, on YouTube, but let's have a look. Proudly not sponsored by Gillette. Coming from Sean Watts.
Just skip to the next one.
Yeah, I think I'll just move on from that one. That's nothing of value to be said there.
Nah, it's a lost cause.
Who'd want to be sponsored by Gillette anyway? Good. All right. How did Scott get so ugly? Well, that's Rich coming from your teammate on Team MDT. So I think definitely the better looking of the two MDT
Oh, really?
shooters. Well and
Yeah,
truly.
he's cut. He's
Yeah,
cut.
he's gone. He's gone. Yep. Cool. All right. No, guys, hit us up if you've got
Actually,
any questions.
talking about that, Rusty, I might
Yeah.
need a hand actually because I've been trying to convince the boss about letting me grow a beard.
Yeah.
So I've told her I might get her on here, and you can sort of have a chat to her and word her up and tell her it's a good idea.
Well, I mean, we just bombard her with. Look, there's a band called the Beards. I don't know if you're familiar with a band called the Beards, but
No.
the way that I not convinced my wife that a beard was a good idea. I just grew a beard anyway. But the way it's propaganda. It's really what you need to go with, Scotty. A big campaign of propaganda. So pretty much just have the beards on playing 24/7. And like she may not enjoy it straight up, but you get to that point where you've heard the song, the same advert, 15, 100, 2,000 times, and you just start singing a song you completely hate. You get her into the point where she's like walking around the house going, I love beards, and you're just like, well, you're saying it. I've got to grow a beard. You keep saying it. So I'd go with a heavy propaganda campaign, mate, and I think you'll be okay.
That might be the angle I need to do, I think, because nothing else is working.
I think you need to go. Anthony's asking you the name of Scotty's channel. It is Between Hunts, mate. You can find it on YouTube, find him on Facebook, on Instagram, I'm guessing as well. No, I'm guessing. I know.
Yep.
I've seen you on Instagram. Anything else?
Yeah, so
are you on TikTok doing dances, Scotty?
No, I cancelled my prescription for Grinder and all that sort of stuff.
I like that you had a prescription for Grinder.
Funny enough, I seen FJ over there. He's the one that put me off it, actually.
Oh, okay. I would have quit immediately as well. Oh, good. Nice, mate. Now, tell us a little bit more about training, because that's really that's sort of how we connected and how we knew each other. And,
yep.
and you came down to the PRI in 2017, but we were both running training courses, and you've continued on, although having a few little stops for various medical reasons mostly.
Yeah.
Assuming everything gets better sometime in the near future, including your back. What's the plan for your training side of things?
Yeah, so we've had some huge shake-ups in there in the way of how I'm trying to structure things. I've started up that mentoring program, obviously, to try help some of the juniors out.
Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah. So basically, last year I was concentrated so much on the actual training side of things. I sort of lost touch with, getting out there and having fun and realizing what it was all about. And it wasn't that I wasn't enjoying it, but I sort of lost touch of what I was doing it for in the first place. So I've been working with Liam, little Eddie, which is probably would have seen on a few other posts. I've been working with him for about 2 years, and I thought I'd start up some form of a mentoring program, because that's the sort of stuff I wish was in place when I started shooting.
Yeah.
And it's all about getting these juniors involved and getting them out there and participating and seeing what it's all about, and even crossing over other applications, because that's where the sport is, you know what I mean? So basically I've put a lot of my time and effort into the mentoring program. So the people in the mentoring program get free access to all my training, all my online content. During matches, and that will liaise at the start and at the end of each day and go through points that we can work on and stuff like that. But I'm still running courses outside the mentoring side of things. Obviously, I've got Mitch Hogan. He comes across from Western Australia pretty much every single course I do. So a lot of dedication to these fellas. Like, a lot of them travel a lot of kilometres to get to these things.
Yeah, so, awesome.
But that's sort of where the aim is this year, to try have a bit more fun with it, I guess, and get these juniors involved and get into some of these matches, because the ones that do go love it, and they're coming back for more. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, fantastic, mate. That's really good. The mentoring thing is really awesome to hear that you're delving into that more and more. Is that something that you're looking to expand yourself, or is that something you're looking to encourage others to take on that role?
Oh, both, I reckon. Both, I reckon, because obviously the more content that's getting out there and the word that's getting out there to these other people that have experience in this, it's all about the experienced shooters share and all this sort of stuff to the juniors so they can pass it on and get more people involved. And as you know, the PRS has taken off leaps and bounds, you know what I mean, in the last couple of years because of the good old social media. So I think the more people that get involved with these juniors, everyone should be getting on board with it.
Yeah.
Well, I reckon anyway.
Yeah.
So
I'm not going to say no to that. I think you're great, and I think the formal structure that you've gone with of sort of setting up these individuals with you as a mentor. Are you sort of facilitating that with other shooters, or is that something you're working towards?
So basically, I've got two other instructors.
Yep.
So I've got Jason Urbacher, who's ex-military. He's doing some mentoring himself as well.
Yeah, awesome.
And I've also got another one who is still serving, who was actually one of the instructors on the sniper course. So he's one of my other instructors. I'd love to get him on a lot more, but due to his background and work call outs, it's sort of hard to get him
involved.
Everyone's centralized, so everyone's sort of doing their own thing at the moment. But yeah, it's hard to get everyone there basically. So everyone's sort of just all gelling together when we can to punch all the content out and get all the juniors involved. But I know Jason is running some up near Toowoomba through his local club, or was until all the ranges closed down. So he was doing some. Yeah. So that's pretty much just shut everything down now, basically.
We're on this little hiatus for a period of time. We're talking about life prior and after. This little gap in between. That's what we just do this for. It's just a bit of time to get some more relaxation and dry fire practice.
Ideally, I want to get this off the ground as high as I can do it. You know what I mean? I want to start because it gives me time also to do that personal development that I want to do, because I lacked a lot of that last year and it showed. I still had a good finish for the year, but I was nowhere near where I should have been to be competing at those matches. So doing the mentoring, it's a lot more instructional work. So I get to get involved with it a lot more and do a lot more like this, like that sort of techniques and all that sort of stuff. So it gets me involved a lot more with the juniors too. So it's good to see the parents getting involved too. They get there and, have a laugh and get involved with it. So,
and you've always struck me, Scott, as a guy who really wants to see others do really well. Whether or not you do well, if you're putting your effort into somebody else and they're doing well, tell me if I'm wrong, but you've seen that's very fulfilling to you.
Yeah, well, one of the biggest, that's exactly right. Like when a student of mine beats me, I take that as a huge compliment. You know what I mean? That's what I'm striving for. I want these students to be sitting there and, putting me to bed sort of thing. And then once I see them starting to surpass me, that's when I know I've done my job and they can start sort of expanding. But Mitch Hogan actually won the 50 cal shoot over in WA. So something like that there. Sorry, keep going.
That was up at Ella Vella Station, wasn't it? That one?
Yeah, correct. At Shane's place, yeah. So he's been coming to probably 3 years worth of training for me, and he's come to most of them. And watching him grow as a shooter has been awesome. He's a cool dude too. I think, he's been one of the coolest students I think I've had for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic, mate. That's excellent to hear. Now, you're wearing an MDT hat. How did that all come about, mate? Because I know that they're supporting you this year.
Yeah. So basically, I walked into one of the local gun shops here, and they've got some form of relationship with the CEO over in MDT, which is Martin, who I think you're familiar with.
I do know Martin.
And basically they were looking for some shooters, and my name was thrown around a few times by a few different people, and he reached out and we started chatting, and then it sort of just went from there. Went online and they had some online forms to fill out, and here I am.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, right, nice. And
they're awesome guys, you know what I mean? Like without sounding too much of a push or sales pitch, like you know what I mean, though. But these guys have been awesome. Yeah. Like they've looked after me so much, even before the whole sponsorship thing. If I rang up and asked this, it could have been the most stupidest question. I got a response within like 2-3 hours from their their online staff and stuff like that. So you're hearing it from other shooters and even dealers that are importing their stuff. So they're the guys you want to be working with.
Yeah, and that like, a couple of times I've been at Shot and caught up with them. They've been so good to deal with, and they've gone out of their way, particularly the first time, like not having a clue who we were or what we do or anything like that. They pulled all the stops out and did everything to help us out. So yeah, that I've certainly seen that the whole way through for the number of years that I've known Martin and the other guys there. It's been it's been a very good company to deal with, and they were on board this year for a sponsorship for PRS as well.
I just seen that. Yeah, that's awesome.
So obviously that's all on hold, but no doubt when we're back up and running, they'll be there, and it's exciting to see that international flavour come and support the sport as well as a lot of Australian companies. So always exciting to do that. Yeah, and what are you running now? Because we have to let's talk about the elephant in the room. You have changed gear a lot, Scotty. You have gone through some gear, but you seem to have found something that you've been a bit more settled with. So after multiple years of trying all sorts of gear, what has got your attention now?
I just like trying new things. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
It's not real cost effective, but no. But I think at the start I had a lot of spare stuff laying around, and I was trying to mix and match a lot of things throughout the year to sort of be more cost effective. Mm-hmm. And a few other people approached me to use their gear and so forth. So I've done a lot of chopping and changing with a lot of different components, just people wanting me to use stuff. And I sort of, at the end of it, it just started causing me issues in the way of how I was performing. So I've just gone, you know what, I'm just going to look after myself. Yeah. And then I went, got the ACC and started using that and felt right at home, and that's sort of where I've laid.
Yeah, so. Right. And you were using that before MDT came on board, weren't you? If I've got that right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So they said they were watching it for a couple of months before they sort of approached me and that. So it was the one thing the thing that put me towards the ACC after all the equipment changes was I seemed to have been I worked out I was losing a lot of points in the sort of from the chest region up. I was losing a lot of points at those sort of heights, the barricades and all that sort of stuff. Okay. And with my back, I was always a lot slower to try and get into positions. Sure. So I spent a lot more extra time trying to build those positions up to get those second shots off quicker. And the ACC with the weight system and how it's balanced and all that just seemed to fit me perfectly. I can still move slow to look after the back, but because it's rock solid, I can sit there and rattle off the shots a lot quicker. So I'm actually gaining time, and that's sort of where I sat with it. And now they got the XRS out, so I've sort of been given that a bit of a whirl too. Yeah,
right. So give us a rundown on the XRS, because that's sort of the latest and greatest, but that's a cheaper category sort of option, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So over here, I think they're retailing like sub 600, so It's right in that category.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really good, yeah.
So it's sitting right in that category for the production class guys to get hold of once they. I'm not even too sure. Actually, with the production class there, does it have to be a complete rifle from the manufacturer, or can it be a dealer that is selling them online as a complete rifle?
No, it has to be from production or importer.
Production, yep. So I'm not too sure whether that's happening yet. I'm not too sure.
As far as I know, at this stage, it isn't. But that things do change. We certainly have seen companies change things around to be able to qualify things for production. So we're starting to see that happen more and more.
But so on like a price standpoint, it's going to be very hard to beat, I think, once the PRS and that kicks off again, just because of the features and that it's got. Like it's got all the ergonomics and all that sort of stuff of a chassis system and the ease of bedding and all that sort of stuff. But you got the feel and ergonomics of a more traditional composite stock. So I sort of fit that bill where I like the feel of like a nice vertical pistol grip sort of thing, but the feel of a traditional stock. Okay. But I also like the accessory options of having sort of unlimited options sort of thing.
Yeah, sure. So I'm just flicking a photo up now of the XRS. Not to bang on about it too much, but it's a good looking thing, and it's a relatively recent release. That was a shot this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So I think if you jump across there, I think Maddie and Martin do a pretty good explanation on all the good features and all that sort of stuff that it's got there. But the thing that I like about it is it's interchangeable with a lot of the stuff that they've already got out in the production line. So you've got all your weight systems and all that sort of stuff that you can integrate with the M-Lock.
Okay.
You've got the Arca plate attachment, which is pretty much a must these days, even in the hunting world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even in the hunting world, man, because I use a tripod all the time, whether it be with a camera or you're trying to take that shot in the long grass.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So having that Arca plate attachment's good, but.
Yeah, haven't tripods become such a significant thing, aren't they? Like I remember back in the PRI days, like we would, I'd get someone asked, and they're like, "Oh, do I need to bring a tripod?" I'm like, maybe. Like I don't know. What would you use it for? Like, and that was like early days, and then as things progress, like now, it's becoming a pretty significant norm. Really, it's you don't need to spend big money. You don't desperately need one. But they are becoming a lot more accessible and a lot more versatile. And you're also seeing a lot more variation in the price levels with, the RRS being really expensive but really, really solid. Leo Photo being sort of mid, relatively really good option but really well priced. And then some cheaper options as well. It's become a huge part of shooting. You've been shooting with a tripod for a long time though, haven't you, Scott?
Still crap at it.
Honest. At least honest.
The one thing that's the one thing that is a weak point in my game. Not so much shooting off it per se, because very rarely I'll actually use a hog saddle or something like that. I'm with the ACC. It allows me, because of the stability on it. I shoot a lot better by just whacking the game changer on top and just using it like that. And the hit percentage has gone up, like at least double, I reckon, just by doing that. The one thing I do have to practice more on, and it's something I don't always do, but using it as a rear support, I just haven't sort of found that happy medium with it yet, and I don't use it that often for that because of that reason. But yeah. Well, yourself, half the time you don't even get time to do it because you're setting it up on the clock, and timings are that bloody tight these days.
Yeah, not wrong, man. Very good, mate. Very good. Hey, for those watching, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Just a little update that we're here with Scotty Patel. If you just joined us, and he runs the Between Hunts YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, all that sort of gear. Does training as well. Shoots for MDT, and. After the show, in about half an hour, we are going to be jumping into a Zoom chat. Details will be up at the end of the show on that, and come and hang out for about 40 minutes, and we'll just get a bunch of shooters looking at each other and showing off some gear or something on those lines. I've got nothing planned. We'll see what happens. That will be good. So details on there. So download Zoom now if you're watching. And also we're getting closer and closer to the amount of likes that Nick got on Monday night. So jump in, hit like. I'm sure Scott.
Come on, guys, crunch him out, share it.
I'm trying to gamify this for us. So that would be excellent. Cool. All right, let's do it, Scotty. We're just going to delve into the questions a little bit here. I think there's just a lot of talk about what you're doing. Like, do you know if MDT are doing any complete rifles at this stage?
No, like we just said before, at this stage, I don't think they are. I've seen a few posts that sort of hinted towards they might be, but I don't want to touch on that too much just because I'll leave that to the HR team and that there. But at this stage, I don't think so. That's coming directly out of their warehouse. But there are heaps of outlets that they deal with that are doing it, that are selling complete rifles.
They become the OEM supplier of the chassis for it. Lots of guys like that. Yeah. Nick says Scott doesn't change magazines; he changes rifles. Oh, getting stuck into you.
Oh, it's a lot easier. It's never my rifle.
Spot on. Good, excellent, nice.
I think I worked out.
Yeah,
I think I worked out last year. I used all my own gear over the last 3 years. Actually, I've used my own gear 5 times. All the rest was all borrowed stuff, including the rifle.
Yeah, mate. When you can get it down to borrowing the ammo, that's the art. That's the art. When you can get to that point, then you're good.
I've got to see Birchie and Jay for that because they seem to be bloody hoarding it all.
Yeah, they can't hoard it too much. They weren't allowed to leave the house for a few weeks. That's the joys of that. You've shot that match over in NZ, haven't you? Was that the same one you shot?
No, so Andy and I won the does the gunslinger.
Gunslinger. That I couldn't think of the name of it. I kind of thought it was a bit different. Yeah, and Gunslinger. Now I remember.
I think the layout. I think it was actually held in the same spot.
Oh, okay.
Some of the pictures I think a lot of the footage that they showed put up looked pretty familiar. So I'm not too sure whether it was at Sparrowhawk. I think actually it might have been somewhere else. I think, but I think the whole format of the shoot was pretty much the same. There was just a lot more ROs and time stages and all that sort of stuff. It was good to see those guys do so well too. The Aussies always put on a good show over there. It's good.
Absolutely.
Stick it to them.
That's the way. That's the way. All right, there are a couple of questions here about your hunting side of things, which is excellent because we do want to get to some more hunting stuff. Just trying to. There was like 2 or 3 questions on it, and I've lost one. Sorry, guys, I've lost. What are you using to hunt red deer with? What caliber?
708 at this stage. I got a Tikka 708 in a varmint, and that was always my backup PRS rig sort of thing. But I'm just waiting for the XRS to come out in a Remington inlet because at the moment they're only Rem 700s. I think that comes out in May, but whether that's going to be, able to be distributed because of this whole virus epidemic thing, I don't know when that's going to be. So that will be the rig that I'm using, a Tikka 708 in the XRS chassis.
Okay, yeah, cool. And what sort of style of hunting do you do? Such as day trips, or do you overnight, self-supported, etc.? And then there was also expanded on that. Explain your perfect weekend hunt. Gun, caliber, stalk, value. Give us what style of hunting do you sort of prefer the most?
I went on a few TV shows and all that sort of stuff doing the long range hunts, but I sort of lost a little bit of interest in that because it was sort of like if you could see it, you could hit it sort of thing, and it sort of took a lot of the fun out of it. I sort of, with those sorts of shoots, I was sort of limiting. Basically, I consider myself able to take a shot on something like a red deer out to around 700 and get a very, very, very. I'll never take a shot unless I know I can hit it, in the boiler room sort of thing. So I was sort of, I wouldn't exceed 650, 700 meters with a 300 Win Mag sort of thing. With the 708, I pull it up at around 500, just to make sure you're getting that damage in there. But my perfect hunt would be, I would have to say, probably a snow trip in the high country, chasing in Sambro, I reckon, over about 7 days, and basically drive in, set up camp, and then just be on foot backpack hunting. Maybe take a raft if we can, sort of thing. We do actually have a snowy mountain or river hunt coming up shortly, hopefully, with one of my mates down south. So that's going to be over 5 or 6 days, I think, when all that opens up. But that's going to be a bit of a raft hunt. But yeah, I enjoy getting out and having stuff on my back and just getting out. You see a lot more things. A lot more things seem to happen when you're out there just poking around the bush. And a lot more enjoyable, man, than just sitting back and just taking a long shot and walking over, grabbing it and going home. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And why the snow trip? You particularly like the cold?
I just never done it before. Like the last trip I done with my mate down south, we went and we were chasing some sambar and we walked for like 2-3 days and we're probably a couple of 100 meters below the snow, but in that area it sort of all started drying up. But yeah, it was just one thing that I've always wanted to do. It's sort of more so trying something different, basically. I'd be totally out of my element doing it, and it'd be a huge learning curve, and that's sort of the stuff I like doing. Yeah,
cool. That's awesome. Got a question there. Have you been hunting in New Zealand, given that you were there for a comp?
No. Good question, though, because there was actually deer racing out in front of us, like 50 metres in front of Andy and I when we were taking the 2K shots. Okay. So there was the opportunity was there.
Yeah, the potential for a miss was there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I got it.
We actually, I do have some friends over there who run the chopper hunts. So they don't actually run the chopper hunts, but they do the guiding side of things where they drop you out and then they'll come and pick you up. So the New Zealand hunts are definitely on the cards. It's something we're definitely going to do, but I sort of want to get my back squared away before we start doing that because some of the hills over there are pretty shit house.
Yeah, I know. You see photos and you're like, that looks amazing. How close can they get a chopper? Yeah, because
if I went over there, I'd probably be chasing. I'd definitely be chasing some tar and I'd go just the reds over there just because they're just crazy over there. Like the reds over there is totally different. Kettle of fish over there, like the genetics and that over there are just crazy.
Yeah.
So, but they look after their hunting over here. There's the sort of looking after the genetics and that over here is sort of not really in most of the country, unfortunately. People just see something and want to shoot it instead of just letting it go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally understand that. So where did this love of shooting come from for you?
So I grew up on a property of it was around 600,000 acres. So it wasn't small by any means. So it was one of the biggest properties in the area, and that was up near Charters Towers. That was a family farm, and I pretty much grew up there. I was handling firearms and all that sort of stuff like well before I probably should have, but it sort of it helped me out. But ever since then, I sort of had a lot of guys in the military, a lot of family that were in the military, so it sort of all stemmed from there. I grew up around firearms, learned how to handle them and shoot at a very young age. So it's sort of that's where it all stemmed from, and I just continued it on, sort of thing. Got in the military, wanted to keep pushing through there and testing yourself, so I got to do that. Okay. Then got out, and the hardest thing actually, like talking about the whole shooting career, the hardest thing was converting from doctrinated military shooting to civilian shooting. That was probably the hardest transition, believe it or not, because when you're in the military, you're working around certain ballistics and they don't really change firearms wise. And a lot of the external ballistics change minimal depending on where you are, obviously. But when you come out in the civvy market, you can play with the external ballistics so much with calibers, bullets, velocities, BCs, and it's endless. You pretty much pick what you want to do and just build it around that, whether you didn't have that luxury in the military. So coming out and understanding that, it was sort of almost starting from scratch again. So
yeah, okay. What about from a technique point of view, like pulling triggers and behind the gun? Was that helpful in the military, that learning those fundamentals, or did you have to change a lot?
It definitely built a good foundation to build off, for sure. Yeah. There's a few things. Actually, the one thing that I sort of harp on a lot is understanding the fundamentals and learning how you can manipulate them in certain positions. Because one of the things I try stress to students is do a lot of 100-meter work, and master the fundamentals and the basics first. But not only that, understand why you're doing it. Because a lot of people, the dot drill's a perfect example, because people just get down there and go, oh, yeah, I've got so many seconds to put a bullet in that hole. Yep. But when they go down there, they're not looking at the patterns that the bullets are printing. They're just going down there and saying, oh, sweet, I just got 10 out of 10 or whatever. But they don't actually understand what their groups are telling them. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they don't understand that you're doing it to, get muscle memory and repetitiveness and repetition there. So, that muscle memory is key.
Absolutely, mate. That's good to hear. And no doubt you would have had plenty of students over the years. Without naming any names, have you got any good stories about particular incidents or challenges or some questions that you perhaps weren't expecting?
Not really.
No, nothing jumps out. Just all pretty standard.
Fat Jesus is amongst all of them, but I'm just trying to. He's
trying to see which one you legally can still talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, there's always a lot of F-bombs and.
We've had worse. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you one stupid story about myself. I don't mind saying that about myself. It was actually, it was on the last hunt down south. I actually fell off a cliff and got wedged in a tree. So I had the camera. I had the cameraman behind me, and we done something stupid and end up just out on this little pinnacle, and we had this this sambar stayed right below us, and we're trying to get around, and we started like scaffolding around this iffy cliff face sort of thing, and the cameraman went first, and I'm going, oh yeah, that's sweet, I'll do it. I just got a pack on.
Yep.
Got halfway around there, slipped, and the pack actually, I fell through the tree, fell about 4 meters. The pack got wedged. The pack got wedged in the tree, and I'm just suspended in midair. But the first thing I said, oh, did you get that?
Yeah.
He goes,
and did you?
So, no.
Oh, no. Oh, I mean, one of those stories is great if you've got the footage. I mean, that gets played for years. But
I go, dude, I planned that and everything. No, I didn't.
We'll have to reset that up sometime when we're out in Buchan or something.
But you know yourself, you always get that one larrikin in your classes. You know what I mean? That one person you either got to watch or you just know it's going to spend a little bit more time with him. So there's always that one person in there that you sort of base or structure your course around.
Yeah, I think you're.
There's nothing stupid or anything like that. I've never had anyone that I've actually had to pay, worry about any safety breaches or anything. But
call them up on or anything along those lines. Yeah, no. So, but you do have you do. I mean, particularly with multi-day courses, I found it a lot more so. Like one-day course, you start here and we've got to sort of finish here, and we're working our best, and we'll get there as good as we can. Whereas you go multi-day, and you actually can start tweaking the days around the group that you've got. I found anyway. So I think I understand what you're saying.
That was probably the hardest thing actually, because I tried to touch base and start a group chat with a lot of the people doing the training courses via Messenger or something, and try to get them all in there chatting so they're not all standoffish when they actually meet. Because a lot of the times, once we call it quits at the end of each day, everyone comes up to you individually when no one's watching and starts asking a shitload of questions. And it's not frustrating, but you as a trainer, your day never finishes. So I try to get everyone there chatting amongst each other. So when they get there, they're not scared of asking those questions in front of each other. So I try to build that relationship between the trainers or the instructors and the students prior to that. So A, you're not wasting any time, and B, you're getting the questions out there so they can actually move forward for the day. But
excellent. Excellent. Because we had one of the advantages. I mean, you've been down a Kai, we were running training, and one of the real benefits on the multi-day courses, we'd spend pretty much every night sitting around a fire. And a couple of beers in, and you're all sitting around there, those questions flowed freely. A couple of beers in, everyone's a bit more relaxed, and so they'll just ask the question out, and because you can't actually see each other, it's all quite dark. There's a little bit of less. What are we talking about? People aren't so worried about what they look like or what they're asking, because no one can actually see them, or they just put a voice on. No one knows who asked the question. All right, very good. Now, Scotty, I don't know if you've seen this show before, but we do like to bring out the memes. The whole coronavirus has done many things wrong, but one of the things that is right about it is the quality of memes. So we have a rating system on the show, which is all based around the amount of llamas the meme gets. So I'm going to throw... Now, where should I send these memes to you? Should I send them on Facey or Skype? Where's best?
Do it Facey, yeah.
All right, no worries, man. I'll drag that up. We'll get them through to you. And I need you to rate these out of 10 llamas, okay?
Yep.
Probably alpacas are more common in... alpacas are more common here, aren't they? Maybe we should go with alpacas. Anyway, all right. Let me bring this up here. Facebook basically dies when I'm streaming. It's just the way it is. All right, here's a very coronavirus related one. We'll go with this. Send that through to you now. Let's get this one up on the channel for everyone to look at. Oh, hang on. I've sent you a bonus one. I've sent you one I wasn't going to put up, but anyway. All right, let me just load that one up.
I think that's a private one, man.
No, where is that one? I can't even find it on the computer. I'm happy for everyone to see that. That's not personal. That's fine. No, I just sent it to you and I can't even find where it is on my computer. This is the level of my tech ability right now. It is stretched is a generous word.
I like that one. That's probably one of the better ones I've seen thus far, I reckon.
Is I can't actually find it for everyone.
I'll try.
All right,
I'll see.
Here we go. There. Put that up there. It says, I used to cough to cover my farts. Now I fart to cover my coughs. It is good. It is good. Bonus meme tonight. How many llamas or alpacas are you going to give that one?
What's it out of?
10.
I can't remember.
Out of 10.
10. I'd have to say, I'd like to give it 9, but I have to say 7 only because that same background picture has been used so many times to pay out on the six breed guys.
Oh, good. All right, I'm gonna send you another one. This one's a little bit more left of centre. We'll bring everyone in on this one. I don't know if you've kept up with what this one relates to, but let's put this up here. So I'm sure some people now are giggling. At this one, I don't know if you get this one, Scotty. If this one makes sense to you.
I haven't seen that one.
Okay, all right. So this is pretty much everything all over the internet is either coronavirus or Joe Exotic at the moment. And if you haven't seen who Joe Exotic is, he's the Tiger King, and he often wears quite flamboyant shirts, which has gone really, really well with the gay tiger references. So that has become super popular. All right, let's flick. So guys, in the chat, we need to get your ratings. Scotty, I'm gonna let you pass on rating this one if it doesn't make a lot of sense. That's fine. I'll
give it a 6 just because I like The Simpsons.
Perfect. Done. All right. This one I thought was good. Actually, the next two are alcohol related. I've just realised without planning that. But anyway, there you go. This one here. This one made me think of Dave Acker. Let's flick this one up on the screen here. I don't know. What's more concerning is that. Oh, now I can't read that. Can anyone read that on the screen? What's more concerning is you can actually play 99 cans of beer on the wall, or that it says family pack. Oh, there. That's.
I think that's the one he had at Little River last year. Cause...
Yeah, you might be right about that.
Yeah,
that is going to be. Okay, so we got some ratings in. Nick has rated the last one, the one with the coronavirus, and Joe Exotic has rated it as 9 exotic llamas. Which is probably a fair rating back to this meme here. The beer one. What are you rating that one there, Scotty?
I'll go 6 because it's better than average, but
okay.
Yeah.
Yep, not quite yours. All right, no worries. That's all good. I'm gonna throw an 8. It made me laugh because Dave and I have history with Pabst out of Vegas, so there's more context to it. Right, this one is very relevant and still alcohol based. So I'll flick you this one. This is I thought of Emma when I found this one. So I put this one up there.
That's a good one.
I never thought simple. My entire life my hands would consume more alcohol than my mouth. That's a good one. I'm going to go with 9 on that one. That did make me laugh when I saw it.
I'll share that one with you.
Share 9 drunk llamas. 9 very drunk llamas. Or sanitized llamas, should we say. Yeah. Oh, very good. Very good. All right, guys, we are about 10 minutes away from jumping across to our Zoom live chat. So if our Zoom hangout won't be broadcast, just us all hanging out doing a thing. So hopefully you guys can make it. Details will be up on tell you what, we should be able to we'll put them up in a few minutes. That'll be fine. Scotty, have you got something you wanted to do? Is now an appropriate time for the thing, or we moving on from that?
Seems the thing I want to do, but they're probably not G-rated.
There was an MDT-related thing we were talking about doing, but I don't know whether it's going ahead or not.
Actually, one thing I will say, Crispy just sent me through something that he was trying to get up and going. I think a couple of you guys have probably already got it, but I think they were trying to send out a bit of a test device to do.
Yeah. Let's
I think that was a cool thing to do, actually, because I told him that we're sort of locked down here in Queensland and can't really do it, but I think it's a good way to get people involved and out doing stuff for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me just give this one a moment, and I will see what I can do, because that's the downside of it. Delta Tactical Precision Rifle Team are running like an online distance shoot where you film yourself in a certain way and shoot the stage and bits and pieces. Not everyone is able to go and do that, unfortunately, which is challenging. But Let me wonder if I can get this image up quickly for the guys. So, but make sure if you jump over, we're hopefully going to get Crispy on the show or Luke on the show shortly. I have asked Crispy if he's available to do so, but he might be a little shy on the camera side of things. But we'll see how he goes. We will try and convince him otherwise. So it is the PRS Skill Stage 2. I'm just furiously working here to try and get the images up. So this is the target here. So the idea is to print off this particular target. And you would shoot that in a PRS skill stage type setup at 100 meters. And there's a couple of parameters of how the app you need to use to take a photo and film this and such, just to enable some time frames and bits and pieces. And then you flick the video through to Delta Tactical Precision Rifle Team and see how you go. I'm not sure the time frame they're doing it over, because obviously if you do it over a week, not a lot of people are going to be able to get out there. If you do it over a few weeks, perhaps more people will be able to enter. So hopefully, if you're in a position where you can actually get out and have a shoot, please do it. Do it. One, because there's no other comps going on, and two, you probably should actually shoot and do that, and also support it.
It's probably a good. That's probably a good chance too. I mentioned in the last training video I'd done, but a good way to sit there and progress, and it's good to see these guys jumping on board with it, is use those targets that he's got, set them up for that particular stage, and just smash that barricade stage over and over and over again. Don't worry about the clock, and just build those positions up, work on those transitions, and building a good foundation first, and then just racking those rounds off. And honestly, guys, you start doing that, speed will just come with it. Don't even worry about the clock. You know what I mean? Do that, and you'll start, getting impacts like crazy. So something simple like that, though. Just sit there and just repetitiveness, man.
Absolutely. And I'll throw in, if you can, film yourself while you're doing it, and that can you can then watch back and see your mistakes, which is part of the reason I'm sure Crispy's suggesting we should do this comp where you film yourself, because sending it off is good. Sending it off to those boys is really good, and also getting being able to watch it back yourself and go, I could do that a bit better. I could do that a bit better. Would be excellent. So, what are we talking here? It's a skill stage 2 barricade, which is, I'm sure you can make up something that's close to that. 65 seconds. You're looking at a 55 meter group size, millimeter, I'm guessing. Anyway, distance from okay. I'm
distance from center, I think it was.
Distance from center was 27 millimeter. Needs one more M in there. Needs one more M. Oh, good. So jump on, do that. There's a rimfire version as well for it. So all good things. Jump on Delta Tactical Precision Rifle Team and go check out what they're doing. That's great to see some initiatives like that. Tomorrow we'll be drawing a winner for our weird position that you didn't want to see at the Burris Cold Steel Open with Ben Jarrett. That'll be up, and then probably Friday night we will be launching our next competition. For those who can't get to the range and shoot, we'll be doing something practical and with some videoing. Again, videoing yourself doing things to get better. All right.
Shooting related.
Shooting related. Yeah. You can do whatever you need to at this current time. So Scott, how big a boom do you think we're going to see of kids in about 9 months with all these people being at home? Combination of kids and divorces, I think it's going to skyrocket.
Well, with the amount of apps that FJ's on, probably quite a few, there'll be a huge spike in babies, I reckon.
I don't think guys can have babies with each other, Scotty. Anyway.
If he's on Grindr. No, but hopefully all these on the mentoring side of things. Hopefully, I know there was 3 of the juniors that I've got now. We're actually thinking of participating this year.
Yep.
And I think 2 of them were actually going to participate in. One of them were going to participate in Mildura. Mm-hmm. So until that got cancelled, but next year, hopefully, I'm trying to, once this clears, I'm going to try and get them all together and try to work out a little bit of, a plan and work out where we can all go to the one and just choose one match that we can all definitely make it to.
Yeah, cool.
And sort of kick it off that way. But hopefully, all these guys and girls and that they are part of this mentoring program will be shooting next year. So.
Yeah, fantastic, mate. Fantastic. All right. Now, your your competition rifle. You are still planning to run the same comp rifle at the this season, whenever this season runs.
Yes, yeah, that's right. So I've got the impact action that's running flawlessly. I just got the IBI barrel. I've only just finished breaking that in, sort of thing. So now I'm just fine tuning a few things. Obviously, got the ACC with the XRS as a backup. Got the Night Force, running the Sierra bullets. Got running the 107s this year, so something different. I was running the Hornadies for a while, but the 107s are just crazy consistent at the moment. If I miss, I know it's sort of me. So
yeah,
it's yeah, that's the setup I'll be running when we kick off again. So I can't see that changing anytime soon. Yeah, but I've said that before.
Oh yeah, very good, mate. Good stuff. Now, Scotty, is there anything else you want to leave us with? Any words of wisdom or anything like that?
Nah, get out there, train, use this time to sit there. Get out there and, if you can get out there and use this time to practice, because you want to hit the ground running when this kicks off. There's no excuses now, really. Get out there, dry fire. You got the training aid behind you there, Rusty. Those things are awesome.
Those ones there. That's
the one, yeah. Combine that with the DFATs, and I spend more time doing dry fire with that and practicing building my positions and getting those splits and that down. Mm-hmm. And yeah, world of difference. So use this time to train, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much for coming on, mate. We are going
Thanks for having me.
Wrap it up, and we're going to get into this Zoom meeting in a few minutes for those who are available to jump on board and just hang and chat and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, what is the rest of the week? Just staying inside and defending your lifestyle at the moment.
Yeah, that's it. Sandbagging bloody windows and stuff.
Oh well, that's the way, mate. Well, good luck, and no doubt we will catch up with you again sometime soon, and we'll see some matches sooner rather than later, hopefully, Scotty.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it, man. Thanks for having us on.
Easy, mate. Cheers.
Catch you later, guys.
All right, guys. So that's thanks very much for Scott to come on board. Thanks for the guys who've been chatting away. We're going to go jump into the Zoom room for about 40 minutes. I've just chucked the code up there in the, what do we call that, in the chat. But for those who are watching, that is it there. Obviously, if you're watching live, this is relevant to you. If you're not watching live, we might still be there, depending on how late after the show you are watching this. But 643-030-911, we'll have that up and running very soon. Hope to see a couple of yous in there. That's about it, guys. I think we just got to thank Projectile Warehouse. So you can get 5% off at Projectile Warehouse using the code ID Live 5, ID LIVE number 5. I think that's about it. Tomorrow night, Andy Little and Ben Jarrett join us, and they will be talking reloading. We'll be looking at their process. We may actually be doing a little bit more on reloading on like a weekly basis, if that's something you guys are into. If that sounds interesting, if you are reloading or thinking about getting into reloading, could be a really good way to work out a few different ways to do so. We'll see if we can get those two guys into an argument tomorrow night. That's the plan. That's my goal. Don't tell them that, but that's definitely my goal, to see if we can get them arguing about a point. And we will be Friday night with Emma. We'll announce the new competition with Emma and see if she can do it. That's she doesn't know that. She might be watching. That's something to look forward to, Emma. All right. That's it, guys. I'm going to go hang in the Zoom room. We will catch you there shortly. All the best, and talk to you guys soon. Thank you very much for your support. Cheers. Hey, hey. Pretty baby. Father,